This video is not sponsored, but I would like to give credit to Bandai Namco for the inspiration in the making of this video. This is a story of a world where your nightmare is a never-ending cycle. It begins with a little girl with long, beautiful brunette locks weaved into a single braid and in a yellow raincoat. They call her Raincoat Girl. She woke up in a mysterious mansion, not remembering how she ended up there in the first place. All she remembered before waking up is that she was being chased by an unknown being. Raincoat Girl discovered a room filled with towers and stacks of dusty, empty cages. A noise came from one of the cages, revealing one of the prisoners. It's a little girl, looks like she's around her age, in short black locks and in white pajamas. She's called Six. She bangs on the cage door, clearly begging for help. Raincoat Girl picked a latch, setting the girl free. And without a thank you, the girl ran away, out of sight. Following her direction, Raincoat Girl discovered that the mansion is way bigger than she thought. Dolls are everywhere as if they were the residents of the mansion. In the shadows and hiding, Raincoat Girl soon discovered that the ruler of the entire mansion is a wealthy-looking, spoiled little girl in an expensive-looking dress and a poorly done makeup. No doubt she did it by herself. They call her the Pretender. Guessing she's obsessed with dolls due to her loneliness, there's no longer a secret on what happened to the used-to-be prisoners in those empty cages. Thankfully, Raincoat Girl freed one of the prisoners before she becomes the Pretender's next victim. Curious, the Raincoat Girl spotted the Pretender running out of the mansion crying, leading to her following her. She approached the crying Pretender sitting on the bench outside in the mansion's garden, only for the spoiled rich girl to scream out loud, fearing that she will lose one of her soon-to-be playthings. Being chased, the Raincoat Girl soon is accompanied by Six out of nowhere, leading them into a cliff above the ocean. With a dead end, there is nowhere else to run. Six dropped an enormous boulder on the Pretender from above, causing her to lose her last breath. The vibrations cracked the cliff, leading Raincoat Girl to her own ocean death. Six stares out into the ocean to see her rescuer's yellow raincoat floating out on the water. Not knowing where else to go, Six built herself a raft from scraps of wood she can find around shore, and sailed down into the ocean, floating to wherever it takes her. The raft soon lead her to the shore of a dark forest. Curious and desperate to find a roof over her head, she runs in only to encounter a hunter with a shotgun, grabbing her and locked her up in a cage ready for her. With a short glimpse, she could have sworn she saw someone watching her from the trees. She doesn't know how long she's been there. The hunter locked her up in a room with nothing. She built herself a music box with the tune that she loves. It calms her down over the past few days, weeks, months maybe. Everything will change when suddenly an axe came chopping the doorway of her imprisonment. She backs up and hides under the only desk in the room. It's a little boy with a trench coat and a paper bag over his head. They call him Mono. He lended her a helping hand, but could she trust him? With the messed up events that's been happening, she has no other choice but to trust her new friend Mono. The two children sets out on a wild adventure, shooting the hunter back with a shotgun, rides Six's old raft to a mysterious and scary city known as the Pale City. No citizens around, empty buildings, but strangely all televisions are on and clothes are mysteriously scattered everywhere. The two kids kept moving forward until they encounter a monstrous teacher in an old schoolhouse filled with mischievous children. A familiar piece of clothing caught Six's eye, and yet there it is, a yellow raincoat lying there on the ground. Desperate for warmth, Six slips on the raincoat and on her rescuer's memory. The two then find a scary-looking hospital filled with mannequins in hospital gowns and a monstrous doctor crawling in on the ceiling. Every human in the city seemed to be morphed somehow by a mysterious unknown being. Every face is morphed into hideousness and are controlled by TV broadcasts leading towards the transmission tower in the center of the city. An unknown being controlling everyone.